Hey there, St. Peter's and friends of St. Peter's. This is Pastor Paul reaching out to you on this beautiful mid-December day that is in the midst of this season of Advent, albeit an abnormal Advent, right, that we are navigating due to pandemic. But it is still so rich with wonder and mystery and beauty as we allow ourselves to be still in these days and to kind of sink into the rhythm that is Advent that ushers us to Christmas Day. You know, this past Sunday I preached a sermon in which I referenced one of my favorite pastors and authors, Barbara Brown Taylor, and I simply referenced what she calls habits of hopelessness. And I've been surprised how much that phrase has resonated with people. Some people just kind of were like, yes, that is what I am experiencing. I'm finding myself sinking in habits of hopelessness. Other people, kind of pushed back. They resisted. They felt like the phrase was too weighty. I'm reminded that, whatever the response, good conversations are had, honest conversations are had when we allow ourselves to be real and be present and be vulnerable in those moments. I thought that, as I, moved towards some sort of messaging to our community, as we kind of round the home stretch into the fourth week of Advent and looking at Christmas in the eye, I thought that I would maybe take Barbara Brown Taylor's phrase, habits of hopelessness, and maybe put a different spin on that and say, how about we think of habits of hopefulness? And so I want to just share some habits of hopefulness, or at least some things that might be helpful to you and to us in creating habits of hopefulness. And so the first is this Thursday. There is an offering that is being put on by our Stephen ministers here at St. Peter's. And it's simply called A Christmas We Do Not Recognize. And, this is a space for people for whom grief and loss and maybe despair or depression or hopelessness are realities in this season. And one of the reasons that we offer this space is so that people can be honest and they can receive reminders and encouragements of the resources that are available to them. And they can be prayed for so that maybe they would have a deeper sense of hopefulness as they move their way in and through and beyond this season. And so again, this is an offering that is welcome to anyone who would like to join our Stephen ministers. Go to our website to get all the Zoom link information, etc. Again, it's this Thursday, December the 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We hope you'll join us. Another habit of hopefulness, when I was in seminary many years ago, the seminary I went to, Princeton Seminary, they had an annual tradition of carols of many nations. And this is a much anticipated, looked forward to event because the seminary has amazing choirs and amazing orchestration and instrumentation in its musical resources. And so this, they kind of deploy them. They put them all to use for this Carol of Many Nations during the Advent season. Well, this year, the bad news is they can't host it in person. The good news is it's going completely virtual. And so that means that all of us, the church around the world, have access to this unique offering. So if you are someone who would find meaning in hearing carols of many nations sung in ways and in languages that different cultures express the meaning of Christmas, then this Friday, December the 18th at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, you are welcome to join in and join with others, join with the church around the world for Carols of Many Nations. We will attach the link to that offering to this midweek video message today. As we look towards this weekend, we have our fourth Sunday in Advent online worship. We hope you'll join us for that. Fourth Sunday of Advent is the Sunday of love, and so much love to be experienced. We are going to have the Witherspoon family, different generations of the Witherspoon family lighting our Advent wreath. We're going to have a virtual choir for the offering, and we will have an opportunity yet again to sink into our Advent theme, Be Still, and visit with Mary, the mother of Jesus, in this week's sermon and message. So we hope you'll join us for online worship this Sunday and every Sunday. And then we look toward Christmas Eve, and, habits of hopefulness have been interrupted for the ways in which we look forward to Christmas Eve, but they are not done away with. In fact, we have some creative ways of gathering on Christmas Eve this year. First of all, we're going to have online Christmas Eve worship, which will premiere at 2 p.m. on our YouTube channel. You can go to our YouTube channel or the website to access that beginning at 2 p.m. again. And the great thing about this offering is it will allow you to have Christmas Eve worship whenever you want to have it with you and your household. You can join with friends in different households, families across state lines around the country, around the world, to worship together with online Christmas Eve worship. So it will be available to y'all at 2 p.m. beginning on Christmas Eve. We will also have 4 in-person offerings here at the church at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and 7 p.m. These gatherings are going to be hosted with an abundance of caution as we've continued to do our in-person offerings and kind of explore them here at St. Peter's. So masks will be required, social distancing will be required, but these will be meaningful spaces for those who choose to attend. An RSVP is required, so please go to our website and sign up, or you can call Christine Pearson at the church, in the church office. She's our director of operations, and you can RSVP with her or ask any questions. Each service is limited to 40 persons, and so once we reach that capacity, we will have to refer people to another service or to join us for online worship. So we hope that you will find at least one, if not more, meaningful ways to worship with your St. Peter's family. Whether you are near or far, we will be happy to be with you on Christmas Eve. Speaking of habits of hopefulness, there are ways in which we are going to do the rhythm post-Christmas a little bit different with our online worship for the 3 Sundays following Christmas Eve. And so I'm excited because it's going to present a unique opportunity in that we are going to have solo-led worship services. So myself and then 2 others from within our community are going to be hosting each week, and there'll just be one of us. And before you tune out or before you say, oh, no, I don't want to do that, I'm going to ask that you would lean in and that you would say, yes, I'm going to try this out, because it is an opportunity for us to continue with our Advent theme, to be still in the presence of one another, maybe in a very unique way. And so one of us will lead prayers and scripture reading and a sermon, and we will bring the whole offering to bear. There will not be any music for these weeks, and that is for the very good reason that our music folks have been going hard since March the 13th during this entire pandemic. So this is one small way that we can support them, love them, give them some space for Sabbath and rest and renewal, so that they can come back to us in the new year with their creativity and their giftedness to lead us in music into and through 2021. Habits of hopefulness. It's easier to cultivate than we might imagine. Sometimes it's just, making that choice that we know we should make, picking up that phone, calling that person, making that donation to someone that only we can do, or gifting someone in such a way that only we can gift. And so I encourage you to think about the ways that perhaps you can uniquely cultivate and let God cultivate habits of hopefulness in your life, so that you can experience hope and you can invite others into that space with you. You know, the last habit of hopefulness that I will bear witness to is that I'm amazed by the ways in which this community, by which you have continued to remain faithful, not only to the needs around you, but to the ministry of this church. If anything, during a time when we have had to be limited in the ways that we gather in person and be creative in the ways that we gather in spirit, I am reminded of the essentiality of the church more than ever. How much, not only the church, but how much Jesus is needed to be the bringer of healing and reconciliation, and to be the bringer of peace and hope and love and joy in this world. And so the ways that this church, St. Peter's by the Sea, the ways in which you have continued to do that inspire me. And if you are in a position to give, to St. Peter's financially before the year's end, I would encourage you, I would ask you to do so. Perhaps you are someone who just has exhausted every means of funds, and so this is not a pressure ask in any way. It is simply, if you have been, for whatever reason, holding back, in a wait and see mode, maybe frustrated just with the way things are going or life is going, and so you just haven't felt like giving. I'm going to ask that you would believe with me and with your leadership that the church and this church, St. Peter's by the Sea, is necessary now more than ever before, and as we enter into a new year. So please give generously. If you are in a position where you can give for the first time, great. If you are in a position where you can give more than you've already given, please do so. For not only the sake of St. Peter's by the Sea, but for the sake of the gospel. My friends, you are loved. From your leadership that is St. Peter's by the Sea, I wish you blessings of this Advent season. I pray that you have ample space to be still and to cultivate habits of hopefulness as you move toward the celebrations of Christmas. And as we move together toward the celebrations of Christmas, I also bring you greetings from Maya, Miles, Devin, and myself, just wishing you blessings of Advent and a very Merry Christmas. May every habit of hopefulness be ours together as we move into this new year. Thanks. God bless y'all. Much love.